United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to welcome Mrs. Podrosky to our meeting as our new administrator, and I wish her a lot of luck in the future. She's going to do it. Mrs. Podrosky, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce?
Here.
Mr. Conger?
Present.
Mr. Gutierrez? Mr. McDowell?
Here.
Mr. Parquet?
Here.
Mr. Zackel?
I have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 14th meeting.
So made. For the minutes of November 14th meeting.
Motion by Mr. Parquet. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mrs. Bryce. Mrs. Podrosky, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce?
Yes.
Mr. Conger?
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
Aye.
Mr. Parquet?
Aye.
Do we have committee reports? Mr. Parquet, would you please start with finance?
Okay, the proposed 2020 budget with real estate tax and operating taxes, $828,500. Act 511 taxes, $435,200. Community service special taxes, fire protection, $14,000. Recreation tax, $24,000. Library tax, $3,300. Licenses and permits, $79,500. Fines, forfeits, and costs, $43,000. Interest and rents, $15,100. Intergovernmental revenues, $425,000. Departmental earnings, $730,496. Miscellaneous revenues, $4,500. Other revenues, $139,452. Total of all revenues in 2020, $2,755,548. Expenditures, administration, $150,844.00. Tax collection, $21,850. Law, $19,800. Borough building, $73,500. Police, $628,802. Fire, $48,854. Code enforcement, $51,500. Health and sanitation, $301,969. Highways and streets, $476,626. Parking, $300. Transit authority, $5,500. Recreation, $454,857. Insurance and employee benefits, $502,090. Distribution and special service tax, $3,500. Non-uniform pension plan, $13,556. Other expenses, $2,000. Total of all expenditures in 2020, $2,755,548 budgeted balance. Motion to propose to display the proposed 2020 budget on December 16th to December 30th at the Borough Building Office, 603 Milton Avenue.
We have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bryce.
Question on
Any
the
questions
motion?
or comments?
Question on the motion. Does this budget, I haven't seen in here whether this budget reflects a tax increase or not.
Yes, it does.
This budget reflects a tax increase of what?
1.25.
There is no way that this borough needs a tax increase and our residents can't afford it at this time. It does not need it. I've checked those numbers. We have $244,000 left in the account with one payroll left.
And a
More
police
money
car,
coming.
$100,000 for police cars.
The $100,000 are.
It has to come out of the general fund, that's where it was put.
It didn't cost us anything.
No, that's an in and out.
That's all you have left. That's all you have left, and you just gotta pay 2 payrolls and pay for the cars.
One payroll's already taken out of the last figures I've
All right,
seen.
all I'm saying is that agree or don't agree.
All I'm saying is that our residents and even our renters can't afford it because I'm a landlord, I better raise my rent if the taxes go up.
We all gotta
We-
face that.
We had the biggest tax increase in Donora's history 2 years ago, 36%.
Because you collected money
Let
from
me
garbage.
finish.
That
Let
wasn't,
me
you balanced
finish.
your budget with money you took from the
Mrs.
garbage.
Ackerman, roll her out of
No,
order,
shut up.
please.
Listen to me.
Let me.
No, you collected
let-
garbage First, money wait a minute, to balance your one person budget. at a time. Mr. Congress, you took garbage money to balance your budget for years and years, and now you want to take, the garbage money went away, now you have to raise the taxes to cover the expenses. Let's just call it for what it is.
Mrs. Bryce, please.
Yeah, well, I'm making a statement. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Mr. Conger, finish your.
36%, biggest tax increase in Donora history, okay? If we can't learn to live within our budget in 2 years, last year, this same group that came in, and
2 years.
you're gonna say this is a political speech, but it's not. We got beat in the election, okay? And I admit that, and we got beat soundly. The people had their say. But we've been fighting for 3 years to keep the taxes low. We raised it in 36% because the assessment went down and our county reduced everything. We didn't have the money. That was necessary,
It was.
okay?
Okay.
That was necessary. But last year, they same people that came in wanted to raise taxes last year. We had $340,000 surplus and they still wanted to raise taxes. The first thing I heard this year is another tax increase. This is tax and spend,
You've been
tax
on here
and spend,
4 years.
tax and spend.
4
We
years.
do not need the money.
Oh, we most certainly do too. You gave contracts to the street department and the police department that we never budgeted for. So it got thrown into the budget. No, you did.
Well, okay,
You
let me
did.
finish. I still have the floor. I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
Yes, we kept the budget down. Everything was kept down this year, except police, because we had to pay back pay, and we raised, the part-time police went up from $12.50 to $17.50 because Superintendent Bryce came to us and said, I can't get anybody. And we honored that, and we raised it. And we agreed to that in negotiations, and it was put into the contract. That's why we didn't have those figures. But in all the other categories, we're under budget, and we're still under budget this year, right now. And we have $244,000 in the bank. Now, do you want me to raise your taxes? That does not make sense.
Come on, chasing us away.
Here's the thing. The school raises it every year. Sewage has been going up. More people are pounded. I'm pounded. Do you think I wanted to raise my taxes 3 years ago or 2 years ago? No, because I have 4 properties. When I raised taxes as your councilman, I raised my taxes 4 times. I didn't want that, but it was necessary. When it's necessary, I will vote to raise taxes, but this is not necessary.
How are we
I yield
covering-
back to you, Mrs. Ackerman.
How are we covering these expenses that you gave out, the raises, the thing, we have expenses that we never had before that you added on. So explain to me where that money's coming from.
There will be plenty of money there. We didn't even have, the budget was so good last year, we didn't even have to take out a tax anticipation loan. We had taken out tax anticipation loans 20 straight years.
Mr. Parquet,
And last year, we didn't have to take one because we had
Mr.
$340,000
Parquet, do we
surplus.
have the money? Do we have the money to cover this budget
With or without?
with the tax,
I'm sorry?
with the tax increase?
Without the tax increase, would we have money to cover
We
that?
would be using Act 13 gas well money to do that.
We're able to do that with the gas well money?
Yes.
And there's enough money
At
in
no
there.
time, Mr. Conger,
Same people.
did we raise taxes last year.
No, we didn't.
We
but-
walked in,
but
we
the-
walked into a tax increase when we took office. When the 4 new members took office, we walked into a tax increase. Because there was other extenuating circumstances.
And
You
what
had-
did you do, Mr.
you had-
McDowell, Councilman McDowell?
Hey, could I say something?
Yeah,
Can I
I'm gonna let
continue
you speak,
talking?
yes.
I
Mr. Conger,
didn't
please.
over-talk on when you were talking.
I appreciate that, thank you.
We walked into a tax increase.
And what did you do? You immediately made it better because you added another 0.5%. It was a 1%
No,
tax increase, and you made it 1.5.
It was a one-time deal. We came in, and we all agreed to raise taxes that year, but we walked into a tax increase.
You did walk
You
into
had
a
Pine
1
Alley-
mil
you had
tax
Pine Alley
increase.
that started out with about $8,000 or $10,000. What is Pine Alley up to now?
We don't know because they're not really charging us anything at this point. We're not paying anything.
But.
How much are we paying?
Exactly.
Just
We're gonna
because-
have to pay
just
sooner
because-
or later.
just wanna be
Now,
clear.
we're coming up with all these here figures, but nobody's showing me where the money's at. Now, we got accounts, and we don't have that type of money in that account. Where's the money at? Is it falling out of the sky? Is there something that you see that we don't see?
I can remember when we were down
I
to
don't care about remembering
$50,000
this.
and we were scraping to make
There's a
payroll.
difference between $50,000 and $240,000.
That's exactly right.
That's
We
a
got
lot of
plenty
money.
right now.
Mr. Parquet, do we have plenty of money?
Ultimately, depends how you look at it. In the regular expense fund, we have 244,000 roughly. We do have in the gas well fund 120,000. In the LSA gaming account, I believe we have roughly 73,000.
Okay, then what do we still have to pay for?
Still have to pay roughly 96,000 for the police cars coming out and the payroll's coming.
And that's not counting that's for the cars.
That didn't cost us.
That's not,
It's still in the
Money,
budget,
yeah,
that's where the money went.
In your budget.
It's still in the budget.
Grant
Still
money
in the
came in,
cash.
grant money
It's
goes
still in
out.
the general
we still
fund.
gotta outfit those cars. That is just for the cars. They still gotta have radios in them, they gotta have lights in them. Everybody can't work on them cars. So whatever the dealer charges us, we have to have money to do that because the money that we got for those cars, we can't use none of that money for that. And we're in dire need of these things.
Well, those will be here, should have been here already, but they should be here, I would think, before the end of the month, I'm hoping maybe January.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We have a second by Mrs. Grice. Any more additional comments, questions? If not,
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Go ahead.
I understand the numbers were looked at very, very closely by Mr. Parkett, Mr. Zackel. What appears to me is this is an unnecessary increase. It's not needed in our borough. We can't continue to tax and spend, if I may quote what Mr. Conger had said.
But you made
Totally,
deals.
I thought I was talking
Okay,
here.
but you made
So when
deals
you want to
that cost
stand up
money.
and take over
Oh,
the
Mr.
whole show?
Gutierrez, no, forget it.
I thought I had
You know what, if we're not gonna get anywhere, let's move on. There's no
I have a
more to
motion on the
discuss.
floor.
Let's go ahead
I have
and
a
do it. There was a
second.
motion, a second, let's vote on it and do it that way. We're done with this. All this arguing and bickering ain't doing us no good.
Well, I'd like to say one more thing. The way this budget was put together was totally unacceptable in my opinion. Our interim administrator has put this budget together, then our replacement interim administrator had worked on it. We really had nothing to say about it. That should have been done in an open forum, just like this, and line by line, everything discussed in public on that budget. And it wasn't. It was not. It was handed to us, here's the budget, kids. Here, vote on it. We didn't analyze anything on it. We did. We did. We should have been afforded an open public meeting to thoroughly discuss this budget, and it did not happen. Unfinished.
One additional comment, one of the reasons why this budget was not, if we have this problem, we never got to look at it because somebody abolished all the committees and there was no finance committee working on this budget since October. I went to a meeting, it was me and Mr. Parquet there, and the administrator handed me, not Terry, handed me a budget. We went over it, said we had to have a tax increase, and took it back, would not allow me, a councilman, to take it home. Is that not true, Mr. Parquet?
It is true.
So when I tell, and the other council people never saw it, okay? I saw it briefly. That is not the way you run a railroad. Let's take a vote.
Mrs. Drowsky, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce,
Yes.
Mr. Conger,
No.
Mr. Gutierrez,
No.
Mr. McDowell,
Yes.
Mr. Parquet.
No.
Mayor? Mayor,
What's that?
there's a tiebreaker.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, let's go on with the borough business.
Motion to pay the bills for November 2019.
A motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Yes.
Seconded by Mrs. Price. Any questions or comments? Mrs. Drowsky, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce,
Yes.
Mr. Conger,
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez,
Aye.
Mr. McDowell, Mr. Parquet,
Aye.
Mrs. Applebaum, motion passed.
The payroll report for the month of November 2019, administration, $4,188.88. Tax collection, $515.25. Borough building, $414.50. Police, $56,967.62. Fire, $213.93. Code enforcement, $2,601. Sanitation, $3,715.60. Highways and streets, $28,885.58. Total for November 2019, $97,302.36. There is no treasurer's report available for the month. No tax collector's report available either. That concludes finance. Congress might do that. Yeah.
Mr. Conger, could you please read the code enforcement report, health and sanitation, as provided to you?
Do you want me to read about the garbage rates first, or do you want me to go into the code?
Might as well read the garbage rates.
Okay. Motion to not approve 2020 garbage rates at a discount of $175, base rate $250, delinquent rate $300. And let me qualify before there's a second. The reason is we discounted the garbage rates last year, $150. The collection was high, and we took in $361,000. Our garbage owed to the garbage men is only $282. That gives us about $79,000, which is enough to help pay Mr. Jericho's code enforcement. Is enough to pay a new sanitation clerk that we need to hire and have the money, and we still should have money left over. I disagree with the rate. What I'm looking at here says I'm supposed to read you $175, and I'm not going to read it because we do not need it. So that, I make a motion, $150 discount, $250 space, and $300 delinquent.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor, seconded by Mr. Gutierrez. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Conger wants that their, whatever the rate is, $150. But since then, I'm sure that the dumping fees have went up. We're on a 3-year contract, and over the period of the 3 years, they're steadily going to increase. At the end of the 3rd year, we'll be paying more for the garbage per household than the actual household. We're close to it.
The rates went up from 273,000 from the refuse contractor to 282, and we collected 361. How much do we want? I think that was adequate. We do not need a raise in garbage. And I think these people will all agree with me because we're all trying to meet our budgets, including me.
We overpaid for years.
It's not a raise.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is, Mom, he says it was collected, it could be past garbage bills. We have no way to think. We get money from the magistrate for people who were delinquent. We have 500 people approximately that don't pay their garbage bills.
What's that our problem?
That's not our problem. Well, because we get caught with the expense of trying to recoup that money when we still pay the rate. Whether those people pay or not, Donora still pays. So now, I'm just making a point. The money he says we took in, that could have been 2013 garbage bills, 2014, because when they go to the magistrate says, pay $5 a month. And that's what they pay, $5 a month. And then they send it to the magistrate, and the magistrate sends us. So what we collected is not a true figure for just 1 year. That's my only point. It's not a true
I just
figure.
got one point. We're gonna get an increase in taxes, an increase in storage, and an increase in garbage. Where do you think we're getting this money from?
Yeah, where's it
We're
coming
not
from?
increasing the
Chasing
garbage.
us away.
Hey, Mike, you don't work for, you don't work for me, you work for me, don't you? You're
That's
up there
what I'm
getting
saying.
these- You got a job, I'm on a fixed income, all right?
We all are.
You're making, you work overtime every day, I know.
I don't work overtime every day. I'm saying, this is a discount if you pay early.
How much do they actually raise
How
our
about
garbage
letting
from?
everybody pay $250?
Did they
You
adjust
get
the
a discount if you pay before June 30.
Well, what happened to the
That's a
money we
dis-
was paying
who
$200
gives
a
discount?
month, $200 a year for a reason, when we've been paying, everybody else was paying $100. What happened to that money?
I wasn't here there, I can't speak to it.
Well,
Well, sorry.
I was here, I paid it.
I paid it too. I'm not exempt from paying
I
garbage.
understand that.
You're in a higher income.
But you're giving us three increases all at one time.
We can't.
Well, you know what, I don't believe that, we try to be fair to everybody. We want to give you a discount. The face value of the garbage is $250. So rather than giving everybody a discount, let's do away with June, and it's $250 for everybody.
Let me tell you something. Last year, when we put the discount,
Nobody's living here. There's nothing here.
excuse, Madam Chairman,
One more thing, just one more thing, and I'll shut up. I said this before, I asked this question, we never got an answer. How much of your budget is being run off the senior citizens, people on fixed income? What's the percentage that's run in this town?
We're the only ones paying.
Right. And where do you think we're getting it? We're on fixed incomes.
We have to eat too. We have bills, doctor bills and all.
Population is going down.
It's going down. There's nothing here.
the only thing I can tell you is when we reduced it $50, we got way more people come in. It worked. People paid early, they saved $100. They paid early and we had money to run. We did not need a tax anticipation note of $130,000, which we pay about $4,000 interest on that. We didn't need it all year, and we still have $244,000 in the bank. Think about it. One of these days, this borough will need a tax increase, and it'll need the garbage rates to go up, but it's not this year.
Let's go.
Just can't do it.
Cushion that could do
Yeah, I'd
something.
like to say
We
something.
won't have it. There was a motion.
I'd like to say something.
Oh, we are now.
These bills are not necessary. If they were, I would vote for them. A tax increase and a sanitation increase is just not necessary. We're making enough money on the sanitation. We have, just like the gentleman said, we have a large population of older people. As you get older, your health conditions tend to decrease. You need more medication. We have people that are going to go without medication to pay a sanitation bill and taxes.
That's right.
And these are the people that voted for you. And you're going to do this to these people. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Okay, we
And
have a
it's
motion.
not necessary.
We have a motion on the floor to disapprove the 2020 garbage rates discount at $1.75. Do we have a second on that motion to disapprove? Is that a second? Okay. Mr. Gutierrez seconded the motion. Mrs. Petrowski, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman.
No.
Mrs. Bryce.
No.
Mr. Conger.
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. Parquet.
Aye.
Mayor.
No.
Motion passed.
Motion passed?
Awesome.
Yes, I agree.
All right, Mr. Conger, can you finish with your...
Wait, we have to set the garbage rates, that's only to deny 175, we now have to set the garbage rates. I make a motion, we continue the rates the same as last year, discount $150, face $250, and penalty
Right.
$300, same as last year.
Second.
We have $79,000 more in the fund, there's no reason to do that. That will cover all the bills we have for 2020.
So you have another motion on the floor?
Yes.
I'll make a comment on this one. I'll make a comment on this.
Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Here's the thing, so where this stands is here. There's never a popular vote whenever it comes to this. I am going to side with the professionals that we were told we had to have when we came in. We had the grassroots solutions come in and look at everything. We had professionals look at this over and over and over again. And every meeting I sit at, I hear the same councilmen who have been here for years before me tell me that we have all of the money. We have all of this money, and every time they tell me that, they tell me the next meeting they're going to prove it to me. They are not here, they are not proving it. They told us, you have to do these things to keep the town going. You are going to run into a deficit that cannot be overcome. We are trying. We are moving forward. Though unpopular as it is, we have new police cars coming. We have new radios. We have things that we need and we are putting in place. And as far as our town not growing, I beg to differ with you. And as far as the people taking a hurt from this, I do agree with you. We are all in the same boat. But these votes have to come to pass, and for once you have to have leadership that looks to the future, not this year, not right now. It's funny, at the end of all of this, 2 years ago, we walked into a total mess that we had to do things. We are now looking to the future. It may be after our time is here, but we won't allow it for the next council that comes in. The town will flourish and will keep things moving.
I'd like to say something that I saw in the paper, which I have on my smartphone. Donora had a population of more than 14,000 people in the 1920s, a number that has dropped to 4,650 people in 2017, census data indicates. I think the next census will be 2020. Where are we going to be at with that? How many people are we going to have in this town then?
If we keep not addressing the things that have not been addressed for years, you're on the course for it. We also lost a major steel mill in our town. Did the census tell you that? Our median age right now is 32 years old. We are growing. You're not seeing it. You are burdening it, that's for sure. We all are. But we are moving forward. Whenever you pull up census, and if you want to go with anything you state, there's something else along with it. We lost a major steel mill. Our population was cut off at the knees. That's how that happened. Blight and everything else has now taken hold of us, and we haven't, as a government, tried to move forward and do things for our community. That's what we're doing right now.
If we're growing, why are you charging that more?
I'm sorry, madam?
If we're growing, why do we have to pay more? Where's this money going to?
Whenever I say we are growing, we do have new businesses coming into town.
Where?
There's 8 new businesses in town. Have you been downtown lately?
Make them pay something to help us.
They do. They actually
Well,
come in
then
and
you don't need more money.
You want to keep up with the same,
The same people.
Madam, when we came in, we looked at the garbage rates, what we're discussing right now. Do you guys remember what the garbage rate was then?
Probably $79.
What was it?
$80, 80.
We're the highest paying ones.
It used to be 200?
No.
The overpay, they charged us more.
Thank you. You were overpaying.
Oh, we're paying for the.
Or that's not gonna happen.
And whenever we looked at it, whenever they looked at it, I was the first advocate to say, you need to look over these things and cover your costs, but not make it too much. So they took it all the way back then and said, we'll cover it just now. We had people come in and look at it and say, you need to raise it that $25 to make ends meet in the upcoming years. We didn't make it up to hit you with it. This is what they told us you must do. We qualified for a program that we were nose diving. The borough was going under. And when they came in and looked at it, these were their suggestions to us of how to get this back on its feet. And that's what we're doing, we're addressing it.
May I say something, please? You know, no one likes to raise taxes. You people all pay taxes the same as everybody in this room. It's easy to sit up there and grandstand on your last day. It's easy to sit up there and make yourself look like the greatest hero that ever come down the pipe. However, you people paid a fantastic borough administrator in Warren, who I believe had a lot of input into this budget here. What was his recommendation, if I may ask? You're darn right. And then you had another fantastic borough administrator. What was his input into this? You have grassroots here 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years that said this borough will never survive if you continue on the same course. Why do we want to go backwards? You have to do what you're recommended to do. You had early intervention come in here and tell you, you people will be bankrupt in the next 2 years. You don't do what the hell they tell you to do. Now we got to listen to all these taxpayers that don't know what's going on. No one likes to raise taxes, but by God, if you want to keep this borough afloat, you better do what the hell they recommended to you to do.
The garbage increase from last year to this year, for the year 2020, $8,000.
You know, there's another thing to keep in mind too.
And it's going to increase again next year.
Before you got this current garbage contract in, you had I think it was Biggs, whose rate was much cheaper than a sweetheart deal that was brought in. Much cheaper. But yet you went with this sweetheart deal, who's now raising the tax or the garbage fees for this coming year. No one mentioned that he's raising the rates. All you're talking about is we don't want to raise the rates. But yet we got to pay his raises. That's bullshit. You got a motion on the floor, you ought to vote on the damn thing and get it over with.
Joe, the people voted for you to look out for them, and it doesn't seem that you're doing
You had 4 years to look out for them, and you didn't do a damn thing.
I
We
did more
got us in
than
this
you'll
place we
do.
are right now where we have, Madam President,
Yes, Mayor.
everything that was discussed is true. It's how we got to here. The sad part of it is, this is part of leadership. These are the decisions we have to make. And I feel it's for the better of our borough. So go ahead and tie it again. I'm going to do it.
Mr. Conger, you had a motion.
Yes, I had a motion for $150 discount, 250 face, $300 penalty, and with $79,000 more this year in that fund, whether it's coming in from the regular people or coming in from back garbage, we're not supposed to raise rates if we have adequate to pay the garbage. We got $361,000 to pay a $282,000 bill, plus part of Mr. Jericho's salary, part of the hiring a sanitation clerk, and postage, and the office material that we'll need. We still should have money left over in 2020.
Is that the motion? Is that the motion you're making?
We need a motion. We don't need
Yeah, is that the motion you're making?
just a
No,
motion.
all right, I've already told you the motion. I'm just explaining it.
All right,
I
we
made
have a
it.
second on the motion.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Kateris. Questions or comments? Ms. Drowsky, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman.
No.
Mrs. Bryce?
No.
Mr. Conger?
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
No.
Mr. Parquet?
Aye.
No.
Motion passed.
Okay, can I make a motion to have it set at 175 again? Is
Yes.
that possible? I make
Yes.
a motion to put it at 175.
We have a second on that motion.
Read the entire motion, please.
Second.
Read the entire motion,
Okay,
please.
a motion to approve the 2020 garbage rates discount 175, base rate 250, delinquent 300.
We have a second.
Aye.
Second by Mr. McDowell. Mr. Drosky, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce?
Yes.
Mr. Conger?
No.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Just like to make a comment before I
We
Well, I'm asking for
already
the
had
vote.
time.
You had your time to make a comment. I'm asking for the vote.
Elections in 2 years, folks, you can remember.
I asked for the vote. You had your chance to
My
make a
vote
comment.
is no.
Fine, thank
Mr.
you.
McDowell?
Yes.
Mr. Parquet?
No.
Mrs. Ackerman? Mayor?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Mr. Conger, you have another motion on your...
A motion to approve ordinance 1396 regarding the garbage and refuse collection fees set by council shall be paid on or before June 30th for the year which they are set. Do you have to read that, Terry?
Of the ordinance.
No. Okay. I make that into a motion.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Price. Do you have any questions or comments? Mr. Drosky, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce?
Yes.
Mr. Conger?
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Mr. McDowell?
Aye.
Mr. Parquet?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, health, sanitation, and code enforcement. I have a report here from our code enforcement officer, Mr. Ken Jericho. Inspection, this is for the month of November. Inspections, 174. Zoning permits, 8. Compliance orders, 52. 2 hearings at the magistrate, 4 citations issued. And we did also an inspection at the Donora Towers because they have new ownership. And that's it. That's Mr. Jericho's report. Code enforcement report for the month of November. Permits issued, 8. Construction costs, $78,700. Permit fees, $865. Occupancy permit fees for the month, 0. Registration permit fees for the month of November, $260. Year-to-date total, $25,126.50. Monies collected during the month of November for the sanitation, $6,680. Delinquent sanitation fees collected through the magistrate, $828.97. Fine sanitation fees collected through the magistrate, $692.08. Let's see what this is. Oh, there were no new customers in or out during the month for sanitation. I have 2 more motions. A motion to approve invoices number 051136.10 and 84534 in the amount of $251, and invoice number 051136.584535 in the amount of $446.27 for the Gannett Fleming Donora Place Plan Sewer Extension Project. And, go ahead, I need a second on that. I have a question. I have a question. This is the last payments, Terry, to
For that
this.
project, yes.
Yes, this project is now complete. The Donora
Motion on
Place
the floor,
claims.
seconded by Mrs. Price. Questions or comments? Mrs. Podrowski, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Conger.
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Aye.
Mr. Parquet.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, we have a motion to accept Yancey Taylor's resignation letter, he has resigned from the Mon Valley Sewage Authority Board of Directors. I make a motion that we accept Mr. Taylor's resignation letter.
Do we have a second? We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Yes, second.
Oh, I'm
Second.
sorry, we do. Any questions or comments? Mrs. Podrowski, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Conger.
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Aye.
Mr. Parquet.
Aye.
Motion passed.
And I have one announcement. We are accepting letters of interest to fill the vacancy on the Mon Valley Sewage Authority Board until Monday, December 30th, 2019. This will be the remaining 2 years on Mr. Taylor's term. And that is a 5-year term, but it'll be the final 2 years of that term.
Thank you, Mr. Conger. Mr. Gutierrez, could you read Parks and Recreation?
Nothing to report, nothing to report.
We have a motion.
You have a motion? I don't see it.
Community Affairs and Municipal Building.
Motion, no. I
That's
don't
me.
have, I don't
Yeah,
have,
that's under
I
Community
don't have
Affairs,
anything
I'm
to
sorry.
report.
Motion.
No, that's me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not going to go to Community Affairs.
Are you ready for me, Madam Chairman?
Yes.
You're accepting the applications for the new sewage guy for 2 years, and these people send in their application. Who votes on who gets the job?
Council does.
Oh,
That'll be sometime in January.
okay, just wondering.
Okay, first I have the banquet hall report for the month of November. The monies collected for rents, $1,200. And I have one motion, and it's to approve resolution 2019-15. And I'll have it's to opt out of the Mid-Mon Valley Council of Governments since they have went defunct. And we put them in under resolution, so it's now our obligation to take them out the same way. Administrator Petrosky, would you please read resolution 2019-15, please?
Resolution opting out of the Mid-Mon Valley Council of Governments, whereas the municipality joined the Mid-Mon Valley Council of Governments by way of ordinance number 1388 of March of 2018. And whereas pursuant to Section 8 of said ordinance, this municipality may opt out of participation in the Council of Governments at any time by way of a duly authorized resolution of this municipality's governing body. And whereas the municipality wishes and desires to so opt out. Now therefore be it resolved that this municipality does hereby opt out of the Mid-Mon Valley Council of Governments.
Is that it, Terry?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I make that motion that we approve resolution 2019-15 to opt out of the Mid-Mon Valley Council of Governments.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Mr. Conger, seconded by Mrs. Price. Any questions or comments? Mrs. Podrowski, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Conger.
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Aye.
Mr. Parquet.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Mrs. Price.
That's all I have,
Mr.
Madam
Conger.
Chairman.
Mrs. Price, could you please read the height of safety as provided to you?
Motion to approve uniforms for the part-time street department workers as per rates negotiated per contract.
Second.
Motion on the floor, seconded by Mr. Conger. Questions or comments? Mrs. Podrowski, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ackerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Bryce.
Yes.
Mr. Conger.
Aye.
Mr. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Mr. McDowell.
Aye.
Mr. Parquet.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Mr. McDowell, could you read the report for public safety that has been provided to you?
Yes, we had had 198 calls. There was 31 reports, 31 offensive reported, 29 arrests. Revenue taken in for the month of May was $642 for overtime for the police. Total revenue was $2,438.95. Total revenue for the month of November was $2,518.90. Look, the Donora Fire Company will be bringing Santa around town on Thursday, December 19, 2019, starting at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. McDowell. I will go with the appointed officials, solicitor's report, Mr. Brown.
I have one thing, Madam President, tonight. An opportunity to work with our code enforcement officer, Mr. Jericho, this week. I just wanted to thank him for his continued vigilance. There was a problem in the property, I think the mayor may have talked about it, perhaps in the future report, where there were some unsafe conditions. Mr. Jericho jumped on it right away, actually brought a positive result within 24 hours. So I just wanted to publicly thank him and commend him for his hard work, and he's doing a good job.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Superintendent Bryce, do you have a report?
No report.
A report. Fire Chief Patsy Vince.
No report.
Mr. Jericho, do you have a report from the code?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Podrosky, do you have a report?
Report.
Go on down to new business. We have Janine Motecki who would like to speak.
Madam President?
Wait, the mayor's report, the mayor's.
Mayor's report.
That's right, most people went through that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
That's right. I also wanted to bring up, as the solicitor said, our code enforcement officer had a very busy past couple of weeks. He's been down to the magistrate a few times, and he stood and got some things accomplished with a lot of the blighted properties we had. Brought some owners in to try to rectify some of the problems we've been talking about. The big thing about all this is the paper trail has started. We can sit here and complain about all the years, and what about this house next to me, what about this house? It's been this way for 20 years, and whenever we look into it, and we look back at the files, as Mr. Jericho may tell you, there's not a whole heck of a lot in there. So as soon as we get into it now with Ken, he is pursuing it. That paper trail begins, and hopefully soon, some of the legislation coming out that says we can now do things after it's been documented over a certain amount of time, that we can actually do something. If this was started 5 years ago, we could do it now. But we couldn't. Nothing was ever done. I'd like to commend him. He stops in, calls. He's always calling Patsy. I'd like to thank Patsy too. He's the first one there whenever he finds anything that could be a fire hazard. Things are getting looked at and things are getting rectified. We had a problem with our senior center, and it was immediately discussed. Men on site. A plan was put together, brought forth to our solicitor, so it was followed through the right way. It wasn't going to get somebody and doing all that. Everything is in place and it's moving the way it should be. And that will be rectified. From what I understand, we got something back that permits were already issued.
You picked up the application, he's gonna drop it off tomorrow.
And this was apparently an ongoing problem for how long? What we're talking about is a problem in a building that has been there for a long time. And when we found out and pursued it, they got permits, application for permits today to get it fixed. That's what really matters, getting it fixed and moving forward. I wanted to thank Ken, Patsy Vince for being there, Superintendent Bryce for all your help whenever it comes to any of these, getting there and making sure that Kenny is safe. But I wanted to commend him for all his work. The last thing I wanted to, well, two more things I want to bring up, I'm sorry, is Twinkle Bright Night happened last month. It was a wonderful time. I hope you all participated. We had a carriage in the street. There was a choo-choo train that my son loved so much he wouldn't get off of it. It was a beautiful night. fire department, police department, and our town was displayed very nicely. The decorations looked great. Some of the businesses had their lights on. It's starting to look like something. It was really, really nice, and I enjoyed it immensely. And I'd like to thank Union Pharmacy, the SNOG Committee, I believe, Mayor Pavelko, you...
Yeah, thank you very much.
No, that they were there and they put this together. The fire department was selling props. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. I love seeing it. The camaraderie in our town is coming back. The last thing I'll touch on is what happened tonight. Whenever I ran for mayor, I promised you that whenever the hard decisions came, no matter what, I would vote. I would not table it. I would vote with my heart and with what I believed in. That's exactly what I did tonight. I wanted to let you know that it's never easy to do this, and I'm not trying to place burdens on you where I don't think they have to be. As Mr. Greco pointed out, there were a lot of professionals that came in and told us exactly what you must do to try to save this. And the people who were on this council and the ones before that promised me they were wrong, they're not here to show you. Every month they promised you they'd bring you the numbers. The numbers aren't here. I will go with what I know, what the professionals told me. And anytime I'm put in a position to vote, I will vote. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Don.
Dan, can I just add? I'd just like to add something to the mayor's report. I've had 2 phone calls this month from people in the valley who came down through Donora and have told us how nice the downtown looks and how much better it looks than the majority of towns in the valley with the Christmas lights. Now if we can just get a few more businesses so that we can get people in. People from other towns are noticing the change, and that's good.
I'd like, Councilman Conger, are you done?
Yes.
I'd like to add one more thing. At next month's meeting, there will be a new business owner that comes down to tell us all about her business. I promised them that I wouldn't do it because I don't want to steal her thunder, but that makes 8. 4 of them downtown. Come down and see them. Support them. Now, one of them is a tattoo shop. I don't know how many of you are going to get anything. Hey, every corner in every town back in the day had a cobbler, right? Guess what every town has now? Tattoo shop.
I want to add that there's a woodwork, someone bought the Elks.
Oh, yeah, there's, sorry, 9. The Elks was purchased and there's a woodworker moving in there.
Yeah.
He's also coming next month, so we probably shouldn't say a
Yeah, I
lot
won't
about
say
that.
too much, but the Elks has been purchased by a new business. So I'm
Mayor,
sure.
can you tell us the people that are coming in, the businesses, or?
Well, I can tell you the businesses that have already came in. Like I said, the 2 that we just mentioned, we just mentioned because it's exciting. It's very exciting. But I don't want to steal their thunder because,
Let them come.
yeah, they even said, let us come down and tell the community. So, but we had a new funeral director, in case you guys have gone to see it, Raves. We had a tattoo parlor. We have had, my goodness, the Early Bird Diner, I didn't say, I couldn't find it, but what were the 3 others? You have no-
Beauty shop right across the street.
Oh, the beauty shop right across the street.
New clinic.
Oh, the new clinic,
Yeah.
medical, I just had this in front of me and now. Oh, Andres has new ownership up on top of the hill. There was 2 more. TechMet came in.
That's been there for 70 years.
TechMet? Yeah, but it changed ownership. See, that's the problem. When you look at a new ownership, remember, how many of them closed and no one took it over?
They're never open.
They're there. All right, go up there and see them.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'd also like to make a comment about the new sign we have coming in Donora. Got a lot of comments about it. It's, Donora done a great job on that. The lighting is excellent, and we needed something to brighten up Donora. That old sign was just, I'd have rather had another sign than had the sign we had before.
When my father-in-law had the store up on Andre, he opened up at 6 o'clock in the morning and he closed at 10 o'clock at night. Now these people took over. There's no cars up there no more. They close, but they open up what time? 9 o'clock?
Sir, at the end of the day, how a businessman runs his business, I'm glad he's here. And if you can support him when he is open, that's the best thing I can say for it. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Now go on, Mr. McDonald. Councilman.
No, I was just talking about the sign and how.
Yeah, I would just want to make one comment about the sign. I'm not a big, I will not comment on the Facebook things. I've brought this up before. I want them to come and be present for it. But I know a lot of things have been said about the sign as far as why didn't they get a chance to vote on it and taxpayer money being wasted. It was not taxpayer funded. It was a fundraiser that a few people got together and raised the money and did it for the betterment and the beautification of the town. And I think it's a wonderful thing. You can see it coming out of Bell Vernon now. We're making a statement, and everyone is talking about it. And I'd love to see all the people of Donora. If you have your comments like we in Donora do, let's keep it amongst ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you come from outside of Donora and you see what we're doing now, people are noticing.
Mayor, is that sign finished?
I believe he finished it today.
Oh, okay.
He was putting the skirting on it today when I went by.
Every time I go down there, I see that big adorable.
So I'll be glad to tell you, any of the people that don't like, any people that don't like the sign and said, you know, that we should have done this or that, or whoever was involved with doing it, they are welcome to raise the money and contact all the people that we did, and they can put their own sign up.
Very noticeable.
Now I'm done, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. Now we'll get to the new business and Janine Motiki.
By the way, your town looks fantastic. It really does. The sign is great. I've been here a year and it's fantastic. So as most of you who don't, but they do, know, I am the Vice President for Charleroi Council. I'm here to address, I just want to make a comment, a little long of a comment, but on December 4th of this year, our employee of 1 month, secretary, got a phone call from a woman whom identified herself as Cindy from the Borough Council of Donora. She proceeded to ask the secretary, as I said, of 1 month, if we made a decision on our solicitor. Myself and other council people in Charleroi felt that this was very inappropriate and extremely unprofessional. That you would call the borough and speak to anyone beside a borough official about a personnel matter. Potentially, could be a labor law violation. I'm here to ask you and anyone else that would have the urge to call that you speak to a borough official. It was very inappropriate for you to ask her that, and it really wasn't appreciated.
Okay. I've had several conversations with people from your borough. I've talked to them maybe 10 times over the last year.
That's
It
wonderful.
was not anything out of the ordinary. I asked the question. I talked to Steve Trapani, the sole solicitor for you and us. I am well within my rights to ask the question. I am well within my rights to ask the question.
You are not in your rights to ask a personnel question to a secretary.
Listen,
I am asking you politely
where did that say
to
that?
ask
Where did
a
that say that?
council person
Okay,
and speak
So-
directly to us,
all right, but where did that say
not
that?
to a
Where
borough
did that say
secretary.
that?
Madam, am I to understand that you have come here to graciously ask that whenever a council person or mayor or anyone else contact you for these matters, that they ask to speak to an official?
Absolutely,
Is that where this matter ends?
absolutely. I'm asking for that respect. I would show everyone here on that respect.
Okay, but I've had conversations with the
Thank you very
secretary
much.
that was there 10 times in the last year.
No further business. I will ask for an adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Seconded, and we are adjourned.